So I make sure that the blade is, I have some clearance for my fingers so that I can grip the saw, like so, with one finger underneath. These are going to be my upright pieces, and I'll worry about the stretcher later when I have the stretchers, the uprights done. So first thing to do is to cut these out, make sure they're square. If they're not square, square them up with a plane. Then we're going to decide where the pins go and where the mortise goes. Then, so let's do that now, so we can get started. And we'll also drill the holes for these pins using this little brace that I made. So let's see. The pieces can be a little vary a little bit in thickness. Okay, so I'm going to leave for my finger. What did I leave on this one? I left about, I think, 2.5 centimeters. So about an inch. Yeah, about 1 inch of space. So I'm going to come up from here. I'm going to mark, let's see, pick my bottom piece. This bottom can be here. And I want a knife. Yeah. I'll mark with a knife. Register against the longer part with your square, tri-square. Oh, sorry. First mark 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters. And you do that with a nick, a knife nick. Alright. Let's then flush these with your fingertips. And slide your square. And then go across with a nick about 3 times. Make sure that it's square both ways. It's good enough. Yeah. Now, you want to transfer this mark all to both sides, because we're going to drill, in order to get a square hole, we're going to drill from both sides, and any error in the angle will meet in the center, but the start and the end of the hole will be correct, in the correct spot. So let's do that now. You just go find your knife nick that you made. That one I didn't go all the way, so let me fix that. Go all the way. Then find the knife nick you made and go across. And same thing on this side, find the knife nick you made and go across. Alright, same here. Find that knife nick. Slide the square, tri-square up to it. Go across. And same on this side. Find the knife nick. Go across. Alright, now this will give you the perfect position that way. But what you also need is to find the right position in the center. And for that, you want a marking gauge. This is one I made. It's just got a wedge and a whatever. You can measure very carefully if you want. Measure from the same side, but I prefer this way. It's more accurate. And to find the center, I'm just gonna eyeball the center here and lock it in place, and then I'm going to check. The way I check is to just from both sides make a mark. And you can see my marks are slightly off, but they're very, very close. So it looks like it needs to be just a hair longer, so I'm just going to tap. And then I'm going to mark again. And mark again. Still a little bit. And I think that is perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. So once you got the right, once they meet up, just make sure that's extra locked, locks extra well. And just mark down from both sides. And here. Now in really grainy woods like this ash or oak, you might have to really go deep with these marks to, let's see, test this one, because these are different thickness. And it's slightly off, but if I go, no, okay, I should reduce it a little bit. Let's try both sides. Okay, that's the middle. So again, just mark. And you can make these marking gauges really easy. There's tons. You just look it up online, find a traditional pattern. Those tend to be the easiest and best, rather than the like really odd modern patterns. And just use a nail, unhardened nail. No need to be too fancy with it. Okay, so now we got an X on both sides. And once you got that, just go in the vise or clamp it to your bench. Oh, sorry, before we do that, let's get an awl and let's mark that a little better. Mark a hole. So this really helps you to your drill bit not to be taken off course. If you mark, start the hole with an awl, be kind of light with it. Try not to let the grain take you off course. This can happen. See, that happened a little bit here, so I'm going to try and correct it. Ultimately, it doesn't actually matter that much if these are not totally straight. You want them as straight as you can get them, but if they're a little bit off, just a little bit off, it doesn't matter because you can adjust it. When I say you can adjust it, I mean you can turn the blade here. They rotate. The pins rotate. So and the blade itself is flexible. Okay, so that's good. Now we go in the vise. And the way I do this is just put this against your stomach. It's the traditional way. And I just try to get it roughly straight. Just kind of like eye it. And go only halfway. That's enough. Yeah, that was halfway. Okay, other side. And when you do the reverse side, when you do the other half, you can go all the way. Okay. Ish. One down. Now this is just a pilot hold. So this is to guide our large bit that we'll use. If you don't do this, then when you come in with a large bit, you will not get straight hold. Okay, go in halfway. I like hand drills, hand braces for this because you can get way more accurate than you can with a electric drill because the electric drill is just so bulky and I can't really tell where is square when you're using it. If you have a drill press, then that's great. But not everybody has a drill press. I certainly don't. Oops. Gotta tighten that up. Alright, so that's good. Alright, next up, so we've got we've drilled in from both sides. What I need to do now is switch to a bigger brace and a bigger bit. So, let's see, where did I put those bits? I put them here, yeah. Okay, so this is what I'm going to use. These pins I'm using are 8 millimeters, but I want them to be very, very tight, because if they're not tight, then what will happen is that this blade will turn on you during use, and you won't be able to correct the saw. It'll just keep turning freely on its own. You won't be able to correct the cut, and that's very bad. So you want to get this hole smaller than just by a little bit smaller than the bolts that you're using to mount the blade. So in my case, I'm using millimeters, so I've got an 8mm bolt, and I'm using a 7.8mm bit, so 0.2 millimeters smaller. You could, maybe, I've not tried it, but if you get 8mm bolts, you might be able to do this with a 5/16 drill bit. I believe that's, it might be too loose though, you'd have to try. I think it might be too loose. So again, we go in halfway from this side. Try to be as square as you can. Let's see. I'm not sure how deep I am. Going very slowly. Let's check the depth here. Stick a foil in there. Okay, that's halfway. So now we turn it around. Oops, got loose there. Why is it loose? And we're through. Be careful when you retract the bit, because what can happen is if you're down at the moment it falls out, the brace can turn and bam, hit the bit, and possibly break it if you're using a small bit. Same thing, halfway through. You can put a piece of tape on the bit where you want to stop if you don't trust yourself. I do this a lot, so let's see. Now this side. Oh, this is okay. So this hole is slightly off, so I'm going to need to correct it. Or at least the brace is trying to get off center. So I'm going to just kind of like push against the wall here. Drilling a square hole is really quite difficult at times. That'll help. Marking a square hole is difficult. Marking a hole in the right spot. If I go backwards a few turns, and go forward a few turns, kind of push towards that side. Oops, wrong. Oops. Okay, I think I got it. Yeah. Okay. So these square jaws do work just fine with round bits, but you need to make sure they're tight. And this is a starting to get tear out, so let me just cut that out. Auger bits are always better than twist bits, but I can't find it in the right size. Oh. Okay. I didn't do a good job of cutting that tear out off. So actually, I have a little mistake there, but it's okay. I'll probably actually take that off when I do the shaping. Okay, so there you go. This part is done, and I'm not going to do it yet. But what you're going to do is fit the pins in and hammer them in with a hammer. They should be very tight when you do that. Of course, try this with a test hole first to make sure your pins are the correct size.